Suffering is not created equally for all people. And I'm not going to sit here and explain like I've been through the worst that life has to offer. But I will tell you my story. Last year was a pivotal year for me. I had taken on so much responsibility because I felt obligated to do so. I was out of my parents' house for the first time in my entire life, living independently, running on fear. The fear that I wouldn't be able to make it, that I would be kicked out of this country, that I wouldn't be able to eat. My mind was so focused on the day by day, I was working myself to death. 12, 14, 16-hour days, just working, running from one place to the next, trying to make ends meet. My boyfriend consoled me when he could, but even being with him felt like a job, a chore, something that I had to perform to do. I felt like I had to earn his love. And I carried this mindset with me in everything that I did, this fear that in a blink of an eye, everything would come crashing down and I would lose it all. It didn't happen in my work life, but in my relationship, everything that I had built up, every feeling that I invested into this relationship blew up in my face. I thought my boyfriend and I were on the same page, that we were in it for the long term and that we were in it for each other. It didn't occur to me that he had his own fears, that he was struggling his own battle, wondering if what we shared was real or not. This threw me for a loop. Everything that I thought I knew about our love fell apart. And it took a long time to heal. Heartbreak is fucked up. You can love a person and that person can still destroy you. And learning that lesson can sometimes take everything out of you. During this time in my life, I was running on E, just trying to get by. I think the breakup forced me to take a step back. I think that was the moment when I was able to unplug from the matrix and kind of see everything for what it was. And what I realized was that my suffering was a direct result of how I was approaching the situation. I was giving everything my all out of fear, instead of from a place of trust, confidence, comfort. And you may ask yourself, how can I muster these things when I can only see what's in front of me? I would respond to you, if you can identify any aspect of this story in your own life, maybe you are the problem. Maybe you're not stepping inside the truth of who you are. And in simple terms, what that means is, if there is more inside of you and you're not giving yourself permission to live that out, why is that? What are you so scared of? Of being rejected, of being heartbroken, of being broke, hungry, lost, scared? It took me a while to realize, but all these things were happening to me. So at some point I was like, what do I have to lose? I know what being hungry feels like. I know what being homeless feels like. I know losing the one that you love, breaking the fantasy of love, of what I thought life would be like after leaving my parents' place. I was dumbfounded. My journey to coming to terms with the shit of my situation, and also coming to terms with that's really all it was. I was just coming to terms with, okay, this is shitty. What am I going to do now? And I threw my head into the gym. I made the gym my personality. And that's not everyone's moment of glory, or that's not everyone's thing. I think for you, it may be something else. Maybe something else will give you your life back. But the gym for me gave me strength. both physical and mental strength. And after I was able to recommit to something, that something inside of me, then things started getting a little bit easier. I started seeing the ways that I was self-sabotaging, self-sacrificing for the wrong causes. People will reward you for suffering for them on their behalf. And if that is going to fuel you, make you feel good at night, satisfy that martyr complex that you have within yourself, then maybe you need to do that to keep suffering for these people. But you are also allowed to suffer in a way for yourself. Maybe you prefer suffering, staying up late at night to finish that assignment, to turn into your psychology professor because this is your fourth time changing your degree and you want to finish school this time. Maybe that's where you'd rather suffer. Maybe you'd rather suffer staying up the extra hour to talk to that friend who you have been avoiding for the last year because you have been driving yourself crazy, sacrificing for other people. It is okay to suffer. I'm not anti-suffering, but I am anti-suffering without intention. I think you have to think about, okay, why am I doing this thing? What is it bringing me? And for what cause? If I'm doing it for them, why? I can get in such a loop in my head where the day that I am living is the only thing that matters. And it's great to be present-minded, stay in the moment. But you have to give yourself permission to come out of that because that is not the only perspective that people are operating from. And if you are only operating in this small mindset, you are missing out on what else the world has to offer. There's a time and place, but I from my experience, just give yourself permission to peek out and see what else is available for you. Life goes by so fast, so fucking quick. This is my most explicit episode, my most raw episode, because I needed to get this out. I was walking through the streets today, doing these tasks for other people, and it made me think back to a time when that was all I did for every single day, not doing a single thing for myself. I'm going to leave you with this little anecdote, and it's a small one, but it's meaningful for who I am now in this time in my life. I work as an Airbnb cleaner. It's not a glamorous job, but it's the job that pays some of my bills. It's what I'm doing now as I'm building other things up for myself in life. This is a side quest. And in the side quest, I was tasked with another side quest. I had to go to an apartment to receive a stock order. Different things such as drinks, toilet paper, sponges, coffee, and the like. I get there after running a couple extra errands, okay. I'm waiting an hour. Hour goes by, just like that. In the meantime, I'm touching up the apartment, cleaning. Sometimes these deliveries are a bit late, and that's okay. I don't mind waiting. This is what I said. 30 minutes, getting a little worried. 1 hour, and it's disrespectful. For me, if it's an hour late and I receive no text, no notification, that's my cutoff. You can have your own boundary, and I think next time my boundary is going to be a bit more strict, a bit more brief, maybe 30 minutes, call and check and see what's going on. Anyway, after an hour, I call my boss and say, hey, I haven't received this order, and I get no response. I make up in my mind, you know what? My time is valuable to me. There is no form of communication with this delivery. I'm tasked to do this thing, but I am not tasked to wait indefinitely. I'm going to go to the gym, get my pump in, and get on with my fucking life. And that's what I did. And it feels so empowering to say, you know what? I don't have to subject myself to bending over for everyone, for everything. Again, there is a time and place. But receiving this stock order with no no communication, nothing, not from the delivery person, not from my boss. That was my limit. And you can have your own, and you should have your own. It's okay to ask questions, to be combative, to stand up for yourself, to realize what's important for you. Everyone has the same 24 hours in the day, and it's okay to be selfish with 4 of yours, 8 of yours, 12 of yours, if that's what you need. We're in this world for each other, and I'm learning that, but I'm also having to retrain myself how and when to be selfish, how and when to be intentional about recharging myself, regaining that momentum to serve other people with intention. This moment in my life feels like it's yelling at me. Listen to what is inside of you. And I'm feeling that so strongly now. I was anti-listening to my gut. I think I made an episode early on about how you shouldn't only check with your gut. And I still agree with that. I think there's a lot of truth in that, but you should listen to it every so often. I think it's kicking and it's saying, it's speaking, and you have to check in with that intuition, with that close friend, with that critic, and see what truth can be gained from these sources. Give yourself some credit, and some belief. Make a wrong decision every so often. Test things out and see what works and adjust. Adjusting is the most important step. I think you can make a mistake, but adjust afterwards. Say the apology, communicate. It's where I'm at currently. I hope you enjoyed this departure from my normal On Being episodes. This was more direct. It was so strong inside of me. I wanted to share that with you. For anyone who is struggling with standing up for themselves. Simply what it comes down to. I hope you're able to do so a little bit by bit every day, and I will see you on another episode. Thank you for watching.